So we are back. We were finishing this method that checks for the false value when the has an element. So here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna send an integer just to vary it a bit. Let's change it. Let's put a 2 here. So this should return. Let's have a red first, and then we got a green. So let's run. We should get an error because execution is assert true. Okay, so we received a false value. Now we change this to make it work. We assert. Oh, wait, what? Assert false. False. Now it should get a green. So it's working. So we get a branch cover going on here. Now what I can do is check for the add elements here. So I'm growing the size. How I'm going to verify if I added an element? Since I don't have a find method, what I can do is actually to check the size of the list. If it was 0, in the start it should be 0. And after I add the element, it should be like obviously 1. So this is the test I'm gonna make. Actually, let's use the statement coverage first. We probably would combine both strategies here because I see an if and an else here. Let's see how we can do this. So any code that I write will enter here automatically. Here we have a decision. This starts null and so if the list is starting now or if it has an element, this here is executed either way. We actually have a return too, so I can check for the return value. So I'll probably need 2 tests to make statement coverage and branch coverage. Here we're gonna enter the else, and another test to going on here, checking the decisions here, each branch. So the first one will enter here. Let's write these steps. So I'll create an an empty list. Then I'll try to add a value. And I will check if the size is 1 and if the function returned true, because the return is a boolean value. I think this will cover the first branch here. Let's go back there. Let's create another test. Void. Then let's go back to the harder part, which is naming things. Let's say should add an element to a list. To the list. Maybe. So we create a list here. Let's create using var again. Var, what do I call it? Test add list. Let's call it like this. Cool list. It's gonna be this time. Let's make, I forgot the new here. Yep. What kind of list should I do? It's not like this. It's this. So I have an integer. Let's make string. Let's not complicate things too much. Oh, So this is our steps. We created an empty list up there. Okay. So now we add a value to it. Test add list dot add. Let's go back to our Anna. Now that we have a value, we check if the size of the list is 1. So assert equals, yeah, I think assert equals work. So I'm going to check if it's 0. Let's get a fail first. I'm going to do test add list dot size. Okay. And we test. So let's go up here. What am I doing? I don't know. Let's go this time down. Get him here. Just playing with the lines. Okay, so this is going to be an error first. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Come on. So we have a fail as expected, which is 0. So I'll change this to 1. And it should work. And I have to also assert that this method actually returned true. I think this can be done first, or before checking the size, because since this here returns a value, I can show into, I can actually just assert true. I actually never know if it's a good idea to create a variable here and check it below, or if it's okay just to check in here. I don't know what would be the best practice. Actually, let's check it out. Let's ask an AI here. So let's ask GPT. Oh, not GP. Damn it. GPT. Let's ask him. What do we ask? Hijack noise sensors. What's the best practice when dealing with the following assertion? Do I create a variable? Do I have to create a variable for the test add list return? I think I typed practice wrong. Practice is with a C. This is okay. Let's see what the AI says. Great question, blah blah blah. Is this valid? Yes, it's perfectly valid and common where only care that add it returns true. You don't need to return valid or anything else. Best practice should create a variable. It depends on readability and complexity. This method is called simple and returns the value only will use once. Store a variable, more explicit. So I think it's personal preference. So actually it recommends to add and check if it contains the element. I actually don't have the contains yet, so I cannot do that. You don't need to create a variable. So, okay, now we have an answer. We don't need to create a variable. That's cool. Okay, so this works. Actually, I didn't run it again. Let's clean these comments here. The code should explain itself to the one who is reading it. Let's click. It should work properly. Okay, so it's working. Let's just delete here and delete here. Now, in terms of branch coverage, we have like 50% because we are going to this path here. But we also need this path here below. In terms of statement, we executed the first half here and this part. We didn't execute this, so I need another task to get inside of here. So I need a list with more than one element so you can get inside. So, wait, what? Actually, let's put it side to side. I think it's gonna be easier for us to look up to the code. Yeah, let's just minimize this a bit. Okay. So I'm gonna create a robot task. Why do I say this in English actually? Tradutor. Translator. Google Translator. English. How do I pronounce this? At. Okay. So at test. Void should I don't know what the should name here. What do I do? Let's put should add elements to a list. To the list. That's not a very good name. I need to figure out another name. Let's copy this. This time what I'm gonna do is let's use an integer list. Put 10. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna do 20. So a list that already has an element was certain it worked. And so in this test here, we are exercising this area of the code. It's just gonna fail because it's 1 here and it should be 2. Let's get the red first and we get the green. Okay, so it failed, it got 2. That's good. Now I switch this for 2. Wait, why didn't it change? 2. Actually, one thing that's bothering me is the fact that I cannot create a list that already have elements. This is becoming a problem because I have to keep adding depending on the add method. But how would I send the list here for it to add? I definitely have to think about it, how to create this here. How would I do it? It would receive an element or maybe multiple elements. Actually, I can do with one element maybe. And I wouldn't need this. I would just do this. I could just call the add method actually. Could do like this. Cool is if it sends an element, which is type E, element. I'll just call add, and send the element. I don't know if this would be the best practice, but it works. So I don't need this here. I can just do this, and here we go. Why is he complaining about the integer here? Explicit type argument integer. Also, as I'm creating it, doesn't need the. Okay, that's fine. So now I actually don't need to. No, actually I'm testing the add here. I'm testing the add here too. Here, I don't need to do this. I can just do add and put a 2 here. And as I'm passing a explicit 2 value there. Let's see, there's another one here. Nope. Oh, there's a breakpoint. Okay, now let's run everything and see if our changes break something. So our time is over again, so I'll catch you guys for part 3. Bye bye.